Take the first step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. Martin Luther King, Jr. We must be fully persuaded and thoroughly convinced that God is working right now, that the universe is rising up to meet us right where we are. Ray Jordan, Post 68. All we have is right now. That's it. The most important step is our next one, and the most important moment is the one we're living right now. Why? Because truly the present is all we have. While this may be a hard truth, it's a necessary one, and once truly understood, I believe it can be a liberating one. So much of our time is spent reliving the mistakes of the past, playing the loop of woulda, coulda, shoulda over and over again. Or the past for many of us represents some grand accomplishments of yesteryear or the good old days. In either case, we're left imprisoned by an illusion. The smoke and mirrors of our ego have left us believing that it could have been some other way, somehow different, or that our life would somehow be made better if we could just go back and recapture some former glory. Similarly, others of us are left fawning for some mystical future, even if it's the afterlife, in which we might find some relief, joy, pleasure, or peace. In which case, we're left paralyzed in a holding pattern, waiting for God or death or some other life happening before we can finally be happy. If I were honest, and I vowed to be when beginning this blog, I can admit to having found myself in both scenarios. I still struggle with moments in which I feel deep regret for the mistakes of my past, or experience impatience as I wait for my path to begin. However, when I am my highest and best self, when I am fully aware and conscious, I realize that either case is not only unproductive but harmful and unhealthy to my sense of self and life's mission. I have come to understand that God, the universe, is using my right now to unfold my life's destiny. In other words, whatever I am experiencing right now within my career, relationships, family dynamics, finances, etc., is nothing more than training ground to unfold and develop my purpose. In other words, I don't have to go back in the past to fix anything to have fulfilled my life's purpose. Those things are part of my life's trajectory. I don't have to wait for my path to begin. I'm already on the path. I'm an educator by training and a teacher by heart. So sometimes communicating through written text is difficult because I'm accustomed to being in front of my audience where I can easily check for understanding, which is why posting your comments and questions is always welcomed. So I hope that as you read these words, you are experiencing them as powerfully as I am typing them. I want you to feel in your soul that you are living in eternity right now. Eternity means to have no beginning or end. So we don't have to wait for heaven to live in eternity. We are in eternity right now. That's why the present moment is so important. What you do with your right now is the most important decision before you. Therefore, in our conversation regarding change, your action is crucial. Change is in the air. Not change for change's sake, but I believe we are called to discern this time in our life and be aware of the zeitgeist, asking ourselves where the wind of change and transition can be found in our lives and the world. God is a God of movement. The universe is one of ultimate unfolding and perpetual progression. In life, there is no such thing as coasting. Either we are progressing or digressing, moving forward or falling behind. If we are committed to being the best we can be, to seeing God's will for us, as Jesus taught, on earth as it is in heaven, then we are committed to moving forward. However, let's not be mistaken. Our future is not determined tomorrow, it's determined today. The power of action as it relates to change has two sides to be considered. Practically speaking, today we are living yesterday's actions, good, bad, or ugly. Our lives today consist of the decisions we made in the past. Our futures, therefore, will consist of what we are doing today. However, there is also a powerful, supernatural, spiritual principle to be understood. God is a God of movement. The universe loves action. Or, as my ancestors might say, when you take one step, God will take two. If you have a passion, if you have a goal, if you know there is a direction in which you should move or a transition to be made, just take a step. Just make a move. If possible, do a little something every day. You don't have to know exactly what the transition or change is. Just make some movement. Whether it be symbolic or concrete, just take some action. Allow your faith to be on display. Demonstrate your willingness to move in the flow. Remember, we are co-creators of our life. We're in partnership with the divine, and God has already done God's part. As Marianne Williamson reminds us, there is a file in the spiritual realm named God's Will, and it's simply waiting to be downloaded, but it's up to us to do so. So do just that. Start downloading. Move. Act. Take a step. Lean in. Walk forward. Nudge. Push. 4. This is not the end of our story. Our best days are not behind us, they are ahead of us. The love and peace and joy and blessing of God is ready to be downloaded, but we must act. We must do the downloading. So forget the pain or pleasure of yesterday, and don't get stuck simply daydreaming about tomorrow. Instead, lean in and step up and receive all of the big things coming. Note, if you're new to the site, it might be helpful to read the first introductory post. Also, feel free to post your questions or comments here, and you can always reach out to me on Twitter at RayCJordan using the hashtag BigThingsComing. Copyright 2014, Ray Jordan. And as always, thank you for listening and reading.